New face, man. Storytime with legendary Jerry.
What's that for, Jerry?
Hey, man, because I had this brother on the show before, but I really, truly been looking forward to having him back. And he's here. And we got some real, not just Atlanta royalty, but we got hip hop royalty.
Hip hop, right?
Anytime is the king steps in the building, you have to. The reason he's here because we want to give him more flowers because of what he's meant to the culture. So before I get into all that, Jerry Clark, aka the legendary Jerry. This is Storytime with legendary Jerry. I got my brother New Face here, and y'all already heard the intro. Who we got here? We got the motherfucking king in the fucking building, brother.
How you doing? What's happening, King?
What's happening with you, man?
How y'all doing?
Hey, boy, we are truly incredible. Thank you for coming, man. We appreciate having you again. This is the second time. You came about 5 years ago.
Was it 5 years? It been that long?
Yeah.
I know. I see you.
Damn, it might have been 6.
I see you relocated.
Yeah, I got a little something. Matter of fact, this is powered by iHeart. Let me make sure I let you. This is powered by iHeart. But yeah, last time we was on, I was in a little makeshift spot.
That's right.
But you see, I came up, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I came
Progression.
We found you know what I'm saying? Trap until you meet the plug.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
But now I am the plug.
That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Went from hand to hand to the big man.
So, yeah, damn right. So let me just say this before we jump into any music stuff. Man, sitting back watching what you're doing on the philanthropy front and just being involved and entrenched in a community. Hey, man, I just want to tell you, man, that I'm proud of you for the stuff that you're doing for your hometown with the affordable housing and all of the stuff, man.
Thank you.
I just want to tell you, man, tell us a little bit about that for those who don't know, who are not here in Atlanta and might not watch it on the media. What's going on with some of the stuff you're doing here in your hometown?
Well, thank you, man. I mean, first of all, it's an honor to be able to, to help fill the gaps, and feel the need of, the problems that exist in our communities. One of which, especially in Atlanta, is affordable housing. With so much affluence moving into the city, within the real estate market, the taxes are rising, prices are rising, and a lot of people who are natives of the city, who are contributors to the culture that made this city what it is, can't really afford to live in the city any longer. Mm-hmm. So they're being pushed to the outskirts, you know what I'm saying? And one way to combat that is to provide or assist with providing affordable housing. And I had the pleasure of being a part of a group that put together an affordable housing component that has offered 143 units of affordable housing.
That's a fucking lot.
Thank you. 143 units of affordable housing, man, to my old community, my home, my alma mater of Bankhead. You feel me? And that means a lot to me because I come from, that's the community that celebrated me first.
Yep, sure
They recognized my talents and abilities first. That that was the first to put me on a platform, on a pedestal, and tell the rest of the world what I was capable of.
Yeah.
So to be able to offer assistance, to be able to contribute to that community, it was very special to me.
Now, I know what you're doing is out of the goodness of your heart, but are you looking to get into politics?
No.
Oh, that was quick.
No.
Because me and Bear Oak and KP's other partner and your partner as well, Mr. Killer Michael Renner, we always had these conversations. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you.
I think Mike should.
I told him don't.
I mean, I think he's more.
Bear Oak, didn't you tell him no too?
I feel he's better suited.
Why you say that?
I just think that he has.
You don't have to pass that.
No, I'm just saying. I feel like he has a lot of the meticulous information.
Hold on, say that again. The
meticulous, the details, the nuances, the minutia. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the moving parts of the infrastructure of politics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that he has an understanding of that. He grew up going to city council meetings and
that is true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
And being a part of student body, all that kind of stuff. I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just now beginning to learn the way politics connect to the community and how they influence, things like funding and, school systems. And, I'm just not figuring that out. You know, he's already had an awareness of that. Therefore, I feel like he would be much better suited given his experience.
Yeah.
Given his experience. But at the same time, if he don't want to, he should not.
I told him don't do that shit.
Well,
He said the blue flames might, that may render, pun intended, him from being in politics, but he still wants to, support his essential workers.
I really think that I think that's sad.
What's that?
I think that's sad that absent a perfect image, a person who's better suited for a position.
No, I agree with you on that. I definitely
cannot
agree.
be considered for that position.
Definitely fucking agree
because
with that.
the people who have the perfect images, aren't the perfect,
and they got more skeletons.
Aren't the perfect people for the position, and two, probably doing more dirt than the people without the perfect images.
Dirt. Yeah, definitely.
So I just think, man, we got to wake up, man. We got to wake up and get out of this fantasy world that everybody's living a life of perfection. You can't keep judging people just because they sin different than you. You know what I mean?
Man, say that fucking again.
Everybody got some. Everybody got something that they've had to overcome in life. Everybody's still working to make themselves a better person. Every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future.
Tip, I'm growing daily, man.
You feel me?
I'm still growing.
And that's good, man. I'm just glad that this ain't the end of my story. Had my story ended in 95, 96, it would have been a horror story. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no happy ending there.
Yeah.
But I think, the more God's grace continues to bless me, and the more I have an opportunity to evolve, man, into a more mature, more patient, and more of a thinking man, I'm just happy or thankful. That, you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of blessings, speaking of blessings, you brought a brother with you that was very instrumental. And I want to shout him out on camera. His name is KP Kawan Prather.
The great.
That's right. That's right.
KP the Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's always good seeing this brother, man. This brother always got great energy. He was very, very, very instrumental in your whole career. And I just saw you, I think it was recently, you posted something on social media pretty much giving him his flower. But a lot of people that's watching Storytime with Legendary Jerry, they need to know who KP. Just let them know how instrumental KP was. Because let me tell you something, I got a lot of respect for KP.
Yeah, likewise. I think I've told this story quite a few times. You know what I'm saying? KP's the gentleman who saw my talent, and the first person that I met that actually had an opportunity or had a position where they could offer me a record deal. He was the first person that I actually came in contact
Ghetto
with.
Vision LaFace.
Yeah, Ghetto Vision LaFace. He also had A&R'd Usher, the My Way album, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, look at him. All right.
Yeah,
hey,
but the thing is,
and we gonna have KP on the show coming up too.
And
so.
I believe KP. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe KP was instrumental in introducing or suggesting for Usher to work with JD.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
I just wanted to briefly just touch on that because with that brother being with that brother being in the room, I just wanted to just briefly touch on.
That's who he is, and he took the influence of that success and
turned into mega mogul.
Yeah, well, he really just offered me an opportunity, man, and saw my talents and gave me a
shout out to
chance.
KP the Great. He's here in the building with us, and he's coming up on one of the future episodes of Storytime with Legendary Jerry.
Yeah.
We had Shawty Red on the show.
Okay.
And we asked Shawty Red Newface to name his, what did we ask him? The King of Trap.
Trap. Mount Rushmore. Mount Trapmore.
Before we went to the Mount Trapmore, we asked him, like, out of everybody, whether you worked with him or not, Shawty Red, who is the King of Trap? And he named two artists, one A and one B. One shocked me, One was A Damn Shame and the other one was You.
Okay.
And who was his?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, and that's coming from Shawty Red, and you know he didn't work with everybody. Had his hands on some of the biggest records. And
he definitely had.
Yeah.
Definitely had.
Yeah.
He talked about the record, the Watch the Duck record, and Working With You Later.
Oh man, yeah, that was dope.
Experience.
That was fine.
All these producers over the years you work with some great ones.
Yeah.
Toop is my partner. That's my brother.
Yeah, DJ Toop. That's my go-to.
Who you didn't get a chance to work with that you really look back and be like, I wish I had to work with him?
Man, Timbaland is somebody that I always felt like we should have dedicated more time and attention to our collaboration. Organized Noise.
How didn't that ever come to fruition? We just talking about KP.
Well, no, it ain't that. It's not out of a lack of effort. You know what I'm saying? We also not out of a lack of interest. We have a lot of love and respect for one another, the whole Dungeon family. And I'm still, working diligently to put it together. But while we at it, just think, the Bomb Squad. Yeah. Let me see. Who else?
I'm really tripping on this organized noise now.
Warren G. Battle Cat. So let me see here. There's so many, bro. There's so many people. RZA. There's so many people, bro. There's so many people that I could just continue to name on. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many phenomenal producers out there. So many legendary producers that had such a chokehold on the game. You know what I mean? That track masters. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people. It's a whole lot of people, bro.
Man, and speaking of a lot of people, at the Falcons game, your name was on this tier with a bunch of legendary contributors to the culture of the South, to Atlanta. How did that energy in that room feel for you and being a part of that? How did that, and how did the city make you proud that day?
It was beautiful, yeah, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful that for one, that the franchise
acknowledge
that they even thought enough of us to consider and acknowledge and celebrate our involvement and our contributions to the culture of this city. Of course, the performance was that was amazing. It was amazing to be able to bring the
Falcons song to bring them out to, right?
The tunnel to bring them out. That was dope. It was amazing to see, the halftime show with people like Jeezy and JD and
Luda
and Big Boy and Quavo. To see Luda wrap it up coming out the rafters, that was dope. You know what I mean? And to get a win on top of that.
Yeah, that's
better.
Boy.
To come away with the W.
And how about
I was gonna be embarrassed as fuck.
Even somebody that being a part of it.
They couldn't have not won that game.
Come on,
right?
It wouldn't have been a hot wing dip around this city. You hear me? I'm talking about you couldn't have been nail corner.
I was like, please don't fold in the fourth quarter.
Couldn't have been nail corner in this city.
It was
if you
close,
had lost
right?
that game.
Puss ass.
I'm talking about you couldn't have went to the east side. You couldn't have went to the west side. Couldn't have went to the north side. We had the whole city's parameters sold up in that stadium. Man. Had they lost, it would have been smoke in the city. Man. But they didn't. They won. So I think it's worth celebrating.
Exactly,
we should take the rest of that angst off our voices.
Because they won, man.
They
did.
It was a beautiful
day, man.
Yeah, I loved it.
Hey, Storytime with legendary Jerry Clark, New Face. We got the king in this bitch.
You feel me?
All right, so we've been celebrating 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah.
And we coming up, we just celebrated 20 years of
trap music. Yeah, same year.
The South, we've been running this shit for over half of these 50 years. We just gonna keep it real. Over half of these 50 years.
I mean, bro.
More than half. No, we've been controlling the narrative for over half of these 50 years.
I mean, we've been in it doing our thing for a large part of the 50. But to to say we have been dominating, I don't think would be quite accurate. Because part of that 50, because if we just go think about it, so let's go, let's say 25 years would be, what's that? 99. All right, that'll be 25 years. All right, so in 99, the South was not dominating.
Come on now.
The South was beginning to. The South was not dominating. And because you still had, come on, just name
what
it.
I'm telling you, we've been controlling the narrative for.
What is controlling the narrative? We didn't even have media outlets set up in the South.
We damn sure still don't. That's why we got Storytime with Legendary Jerry, because we got a great podcast out of Atlanta. All the other big podcasts, they out of LA, New York.
We've definitely become a hub. We've
never been a media like a New York or LA or Chicago. We've never had that.
I feel that. I feel like we worked ourselves to a space and we've earned the right to demand a certain level of consideration.
Even from an independent.
But to say over like the majority of the 50 year, that's a bit egregious. I will say, because when did Dre say the South got something to say? When was that?
That was 95, 96.
That was 95, 96.
Yeah, 95, 96.
Okay, so that's when it started. All right?
That's when 30 years ago.
Huh? 95?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
30 years ago.
So if we were dominating, he would have no reason to have.
Listen. See, now, I said we have controlled the narrative for more than half. If you look at the South, from
what
Texas
do you consider controlling the narrative?
Being semi-dominant.
Influence.
That's an oxymoron.
Hey, look,
semi-dominant. What the hell is that?
Come on, you got
man. Come on. Niggas will say anything. Won't they?
You can say.
You know what I mean? Come on.
I know you ain't with the words.
Semi-dominant.
So look. For 25, for over half. Look, just hear me out.
I'm listening, bro.
Dr. Harris.
I'm listening. I'm waiting on you to make some sense.
No, I've been making sense. I'm always look for over half these 50 years, we have been controlling the narrative and really controlling the culture. You look at the South, from the Cash Money to Master P to what Lil J and them was doing to the Miami, and then you look at, and then Atlanta really just grabbed that shit and just ran with it. So when I'm saying I was leading into a question, go ahead. Go ahead. But yeah, I want you. Make sure your door locked, because we don't.
I hope so, because I heard an alarm going off.
We definitely don't want nobody. I was leading into something, but I'm still gonna stick with my shit.
Let's go. Semi-dominant.
But no, I was leading into this question. What is your take on the state of hip hop and rap right now?
Man, to be honest with you, man, I always felt the same way about it, man. I feel like
never changed.
My opinion of it has never changed. I feel like it is in the best place that it could possibly be, and also the worst place that it could possibly be. I don't think that there is, a significant benefit that overwhelms the detriment in any time in hip hop.
Hold on.
Every moment in hip hop.
Say that again. I want to make sure. Say that again.
I say I don't think that there is a significant benefit that overwhelms the detriment in any moment in hip hop. It's always, right? Always. Even when you go back to, let's say, the golden era of hip hop.
And when was that? What would you consider the golden 90s?
I mean, yeah, you could definitely say that. You could say the 90s, but what I was really talking about, like LL Cool J,
80.
You know what I'm saying? Run DMC, mid-80s going into the 90s, NWA, you know what I'm saying? So that is a golden era, but the problem about it was that it wasn't enough exposure. It wasn't accepted. It wasn't, it wasn't embraced enough, and it wasn't enough of equity in the art for the artists at that time. So although it was a golden era, but there still was a significant amount of detriment that went against the benefit of it being the golden era.
So let me make sure I get this right. What you're saying is that there's just as much balance in hip hop as it was then in the mid 80s and mid 90s.
I say
it ain't more fuckery and bullshit than
this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that just as much good as you can consider for then, there is just as much negative. And right now, just as much negative, you can consider that there's as much good. And when I say that, right now, we are at a place where this is a direct-to-consumer industry. We've cut out the middlemen, right? So that means you don't have to wait on anyone's approval, anyone's validation. Anybody can get up, go out there and stand on their talent and introduce their self to an opportunity to reach a fan base, okay? Now that's positive. Now what's negative is there's no filtration system. There's no filter. There's no standard.
See, but you're talking about the process. I'm talking about the actual music. So let me give you an example. So when I came up 85, from the mid 80s to mid 90s, I look at it as more
70s.
But don't try me like that. Don't try me like that. Don't try me like that. Hey, I ain't that much older than you. We're the same age group. We're the same motherfucking age group.
We are not.
Yes, we are.
We are not, sir.
KP, relax now.
We are not, sir.
So let me say, so from the mid 80s, let's say mid 90s, because I look at the golden era as probably 90s.
Mm-hmm.
What I listen to, I'm just saying personally, I listen to NWA, Too Short, 2 Live Crew, which you would consider to be.
I would say 87 to 97. Okay. Let's say that.
But then on the flip side, we had the Public Enemies, the Tribe Called Quest, Diggable Planets, what's Speech in them here and Arrested Development.
Right.
Then even when Outkast and them came out the South, even Scarface. Tip, it ain't no balance like that now, bro. So
that's not true. That is not true.
It's not.
That is not true.
Is it the same balance?
Yeah, I see what he's saying. Yeah, definitely.
Is it the same?
Well, because we have the J. Coles, we have the Sexy Reds. The same thing. We had a 2 Live Crew and a BDP.
And guess what? But guess what though? So back then, you right, we had the Public Enemies, we had the Tribes, we had the Native Tongues and so on and so forth. But they weren't getting the spotlight, the exposure. They weren't being exposed to the rest of the world. Like Common, look how long it took for Common to
I
get.
worked with him earlier. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it took a minute.
Exactly. Right now, you got artists like Kendrick is outselling or is right there neck and neck, eye to eye with artists like Drake.
So I just want to make sure you saying it is the same balance.
You keep asking me the same question, like you. No,
I just want to make sure you stand on that.
You got me
because you stand on business.
I said what I said.
New Face, he stand on business.
I birthed a young man who coined that phrase. So, you know what I'm saying? That's my junior.
Storytime with the legendary Jerry is hosted by me, the one and only Jerry Clark. Music has been provided by July, the producer. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to Storytime with the legendary Jerry on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at the Legendary Jerry Podcast. For more podcasts from iHeartMedia, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.